love with me.
Energy that pulsed like a heartbeat. Hundreds of eyes, some glowing, some fasted, some burning, like distant stars were fixed on a single human standing at its center. Ethan. Cole kept his hands at his sides. He refused to kneel down above him. On a floating crescent of light sat the rulers of the Varelian Dominion. Their robes shimmered with shifting constellations. Their expressions were unreadable, and beside him she stood tall, unbowed, radiant Princess Aeryn of Aurelia. Her silver hair flowed like liquid starlight down her back. The markings along her skin glowed faintly, reacting to the tension in the air. To her people, she was a symbol of lineage and power. To Ethan, she was the woman he had saved. And now, the reason he might die? A deep chime echoed through the chamber. "The council will speak," intoned the High Arbiter, his voice layered and harmonic. "Human Ethan Cole of Earth, you stand accused of interfering in royal blood matters?" Murmurs rippled across the hall. Ethan said nothing. Aeryn stepped forward before he could respond. "He is under my protection," she declared, her voice steady. "By my claim?" The chamber erupted. Energy crackled across the crystalline floor. Several counselors rose from their thrones, their eyes blazing. "You dare invoke the ancient right?" one hissed. "She cannot," another snapped. "Not without unanimous approval." Ethan turned sharply toward her. "Aeryn, what are you doing?" She didn't look at him. "If the council condemns him," she said calmly, "then they condemn their future ruler's chosen mate." Silence fell like a blade. Ethan's pulse thundered in his ears. "Mate?" The High Arbiter's gaze sharpened. "Princess Aeryn, you understand the gravity of such a declaration?" "I do." Her markings flared brighter, spreading in intricate patterns along her arms and neck. "The Rite of Claim binds before the council's eyes. When spoken, it cannot be undone without exile or death." Ethan stepped forward. "Hold on. Nobody asked me if I agreed to." Her hand found his warm, steady. "I did," she whispered under her breath. "You just didn't know it." 3 days earlier, he had found her bleeding in the ruins of a crashed diplomatic cruiser. Bandits from the outer rings had ambushed the ship, hunting for royal hot. When Ethan and his salvage crew stumbled across the wreckage, most of the survivors were gone. Except her. She had been pinned beneath fractured alloy, her breathing shallow, eyes blazing with defiance, even in pain. "Don't touch me," she had warned. "Relax," he had muttered, prying metal from her shoulder. "I'm not here to hurt you." When the bandits returned, Ethan didn't run. He could have. Instead, he had stood between them and the alien princess they intended to ransom. He fought like a cornered animal, and when it was over, he had carried her to safety. Back in the present, Ethan's mind reeled. "You can't just claim someone like property," he said under his breath. Aeryn's fingers tightened slightly around his. "It is not ownership," she said softly. "It is protection." The High Arbiter rose fully from his throne now. "Princess Aeryn, of House Vellari?" he said, voice echoing across the chamber. "Do you formally invoke the right of claim before the council?" Well, every eye turned to her. Ethan felt the weight of it like gravity. This wasn't politics. This was survival. "Yeah," she said. Gasps erupted across the chamber. "State your claim," the Arbiter demanded. She lifted her chin. "I claim Ethan Cole of Earth as my chosen mate under Varelian law, by the blood he shed in my defense, by the bond forged in battle, by my will." Her markings flared brilliantly, casting silver light across the crystal walls. Energy surged outward in a visible wave. The council shields activated instinctively, reacting to the power of the right. Ethan felt something shift in the airlight, invisible threads weaving around them. "This is madness," one counselor spat. "He is human, and yet," Aeryn replied coolly, "he stood when your own guards fell." A heavy silence followed. The Arbiter studied Ethan carefully. "Human," he said. "Do you accept the claim placed upon you?" Every instinct screamed at Ethan to reject it. He hadn't come to this planet seeking royalty. He hadn't planned to be dragged into alien politics. But he looked at her, not the princess. The woman who had bled in the wreckage and still tried to warn him away. The woman who now stood alone against an entire council to protect him. "What happens if I refuse?" he asked quietly. The Arbiter answered without hesitation. "Then the right collapses. The princess loses her right of succession. You are executed for royal interference." Straight to the point, Ethan exhaled slowly. "And if I accept, you become bound under Varelian law. No harm may come to you without invoking war between houses. In other words, protection, for both of them." He met her eyes. "Is this what you want?" he asked her softly. She didn't hesitate. "Yes." "Not political, not forced, certain." Ethan turned back to the council. "I accept." The chamber exploded with light. Energy spiraled upward from the floor, forming a luminous sigil around them. It burned in silver and gold, circling their joined hands. The right had been sealed. The uproar that followed shook the chamber. "This is reckless. A human cannot sit beside the throne. The bloodlines." The Arbiter's voice cut through the chaos like thunder. "Silence." The chamber stilled instantly. The right has been invoked and accepted. By our oldest law, the claim stands. Aeryn did not move. Ethan felt the energy slowly fade from his skin, though something lingered like a faint echo of warmth in his chest. The Arbiter's gaze swept across the counselors. You may challenge the right, he said calmly, but you know the cost. Challenge meant combat.formal.public.2, deny the claim. A house would have to defeat Ethan in ritual trial. Several counselors looked away. He had already proven himself in battle, even wounded, even outnumbered, and now Right's energy strengthened him. One counselor finally stood, Lord Kelther of the 5th Dominion. His eyes glowed red with contempt. A challenge, he said coldly. Aeryn's grip tightened again. Ethan felt it too. This wasn't over. The Arbiter nodded once. Saw recorded. The trial shall commence at dawn. Later, in the quiet of her private chambers, Ethan finally exhaled. You could have told me, he muttered. Aeryn stood by the window overlooking the luminous city. If I had warned you, she said softly, you would have refused. Yeah, he admitted. She turned to face him. Then you would be dead. Silence stretched between them. He rubbed a hand through his hair. So this whole mate thing? What exactly does it mean? Her expression softened. It means I choose you. He blinked. That's it. She stepped closer. Among my people, bonds formed in battle are sacred. You fought for me without obligation, without expectation. That matters. He searched her face for deception. Found none. And politically, he asked, it protects you? It strengthens my position. And it terrifies those who rely on tradition to hold power. A faint smile touched her lips. You are unpredictable. Ethan snorted, glad to be useful. Her eyes lingered on his. This was not only strategy. Something unspoken hung in the air. He cleared his throat. Dawn. Huh? Yes. You think I can win? Her answer was immediate. Yes. Not blind faith. Certainty. Dawn on Varelia burned silver. The trial arena floated above the city, suspended by gravity fields that shimmered like mist. Thousands gathered to witness it. The human, the princess, the challenge. Ethan stepped onto the platform opposite Lord Kelther. The alien noble was taller, armored in ceremonial battle plating, energy crackling along his gauntlets. You should have remained in your dirt world, Kelther sneered. Ethan rolled his shoulders. Bit late for that. The Arbiter's voice echoed across the arena. Trial by honor. First blood or surrender. The signal flared. Kelther attacked instantly. Blinding speed. Energy lashes tore through the air where Ethan had stood seconds before. He moved on instinct. Years of rough world survival. Smuggling routes. Close calls. Kelther fought with precision. Ethan fought with heart. The crowd roared as blows exchanged. Energy flared. Meadowrang Kelther struck Ethan across the ribs, sending him skidding. Pain flared. But Ethan pushed up. He remembered the wreckage, her blood on silver metal, her whisper telling him not to help her. He charged. Not elegant. Not refined, but relentless. Kelther miscalculated. Just once. Ethan closed the distance, twisted under an energy strike, and drove his fist into a vulnerable joint beneath the noble's armor. Kel star. Stumbled. Ethan pivoted and struck again. The noble fell to one knee. Ethan stopped, didn't press the killing blow. Healed, he said, breathing hard. Silence hung heavy. Kelthar's eyes burned with fury. Then he lowered his head. I yield. The arena erupted. The Arbiter rose. By trial and right, the claim stands unchallenged. Aeryn stepped onto the platform. Not as princess. As partner? She extended her hand. Ethan took it. No. Chains? No escape. But not a prison either. The council had witnessed it. The bond was sealed. And for the first time since stepping onto this alien world, Ethan felt something unexpected. Not fear, not obligation. Belonging. High above the luminous city. Beneath a sky of twin suns, the human who had once been an outsider now stood beside the future ruler of Virelia. Chosen. Claimed.